What an inflationary introduction. My hometown rabbi. The rabbi is so extraordinarily eloquent. I want to pick up on a couple of his points. First, he talks so thoughtfully about how different this all is to a year ago. I know that when I get asked about issues, domestic policy, foreign policy, I feel that it is my obligation as a Jew to somehow include in that discussion the importance of bringing the hostages home. Sometimes a journalist doesn't think I'm talking on topic, but that's tough. I feel it's so important. As long as I have the honor to represent you in the United States Congress, no matter the topic, I will include how important it is to bring the hostages home. There have been, as the rabbi said, so many changes, and he talks about all the things that we never could have anticipated. For those of us who have parents who are Holocaust survivors, we never thought a whole day a year ago was something we would see. But we had on our lawn in southeast Portland a die-in to basically say that all the people on the lawn represented someone that I had killed, that I was responsible for policies that caused them to die, that I was a representative of genocide. So we gather this afternoon on the eve of the solemn anniversary to remember all those tears and all that pain of a year ago. We pray fervently during our holidays, our holiest days, the calendar, for the release of those hostages and to leave the hard work ahead for peace as something that we can accomplish so that Jewish parents and Palestinian parents alike, because there are many Palestinians who want nothing to do with Hamas. Make no mistake about it. We want those Jewish parents and Palestinian parents to no longer fear for their children and their families. And Israel, as we all know, faces yet another existential moment for its very survival. And so much has to be done to make sure that there is not another life and death moment in the history of the Jewish people. Big challenge, of course, is as Hamas terrorists attacked Israel on October 7th, they were hell-bent on murdering Jews, and Iran and their proxies, these horrible proxies, are just as hell-bent at this very hour, on Israel's destruction. Yep. So I'm not going to give a long speech. There are many speakers, so I will not inflict a filibuster on many of you. But I want, at this point, to recommit to something that's close to what I said at Temple Beth Israel when the rabbi brought us together after the horrible slaughter a year ago. My view is that the alliance between the United States and Israel is both essential and eternal, and I have a message for all. Some who may not agree with us, and of course, for our community. Terrorism will not win. The United States will stand with Israel. alliance between the United States and Israel was etched in stone when President Truman sent a clear message from America in 1948, a little bit before I was born. He recognized the state of Israel only 11 minutes into its baby existence, its first few moments. The United States was there. What a moment of such pride for all of us. The United States was there, setting in motion a rock-solid alliance between two great democracies, the United States and Israel. So we have much to do, and much of it, just as President Truman suggested, all those many years, is an educational challenge. So let's make sure when we hear chants of from the river to the sea and other slogans that people understand that these are false conclusions and that somehow being anti-Zionist cannot somehow be anti-Jewish. Understand. That is a false conclusion. The discussion over Zionism might have been something academic or theoretical in 1924 before 6 million Jews were murdered in the Holocaust. But there can be no debate in 2024 when it's an essential, existential question for our country of more than 7 million Jews. These Israelis and their descendants deserve a secure home, a home in the nation of Israel, instead of being at tender mercies of Hamas and Hezbollah, Iran, and what I call the fellow travelers of anti-Semitism. The people of Israel are the latest generation of people in faith that suffered millennia of persecution. From the Inquisition and the pogroms to the Holocaust and terrorist attacks of modern times in the Middle East, the Jewish people have needed and deserved their own occasion, own nation. As the son of Peter and Edith Wyden, I know in my own family history and what happens when the world abandons the Jewish people. My parents fled the Nazis in the 30s. Not all got out. We lost family during Kristallnacht at Theresienstadt. And I'm especially proud of my parents who came to this country, taught themselves English, and volunteered for our army. When you go to the Holocaust Museum, you'll see a picture of my dad, who is one of the Ritchie boys, the legendary German kids who came to the United States. My dad was not exactly a great physical specimen. He talked his way into our army. And he wrote the propaganda pamphlets that we dropped on the Nazi soldiers, telling them to give up. And I have pictures of my dad with a big bullhorn, one of those foghorns, translating the terms of surrender to the German soldiers in their own language. And I can tell from the corner of his mouth, he is enjoying every minute of their suffering. Out of the ashes of that Holocaust arose Israel. Standing right alongside Israel at that historic moment was the United States. And I just want you to know that as long as I have the honor to represent you in the United States Senate, an honor that I never thought that a first-generation Jewish kid would have a chance, a privilege to do such, and in addition, to stand up for the well-being of Israel, to stand up for the rights of our older people, and the many things that I've had an opportunity to be part of. And I want everyone to understand, for the generations to come, we are going to work and pray for an ultimate goal that, as the rabbi really led us to, that's straightforward, an ultimate goal that allows Jewish parents and Palestinian parents to live in peace. God bless.